What's up, everybody? Justin, the WOD nutritionist here. Here at CBG, we help you lose body fat, build muscle, and crush your WODs without tracking macros. Of course, we all want to look like we do 4 to 5 WODs per week. Nutrition plays the most important impact. This podcast episode and YouTube video is for my females out there. Some of you are probably thinking, why the hell are you talking about females and their nutrition and their menstrual cycle? I have a specific training in nutrition as a nutritionist for several years, and I have 9 full-time female nutritionists and nutrition coaches on my team. So all this information here is accredited through them and can very specifically help you around what you should be eating around your menstrual cycle. So we'll go over the different phases, how different hormones climax and are downregulated, and what foods as well as carbohydrates and macronutrients you should be prioritizing. So let's get started. First, the menstrual phase. So in your menstrual phase, this is the first to 5 days. If we go from 1 to 28 days, day 1 through 5 is your menstrual phase. Hormone levels, estrogen and progesterone, are at their absolute lowest during this time. This is why you might feel a lot low energy. You might experience a lot of muscle soreness. So this is something to keep in mind. So we want to prioritize foods in iron, like red meat and spinach, to replenish from blood loss in those decreased energy levels. This is very important. Additionally, anti-inflammatory foods like berries, leafy greens, and omega-3 rich foods like salmon and chia seeds also will be important. Additionally here, you got to give your body grace. You're in your menstrual cycle and you're experiencing a lot of fatigue. You may need to do low intensity workouts and WODs during this time. Listen to your body and your energy levels and adapt from there. These are the specific recommendations that I make during the menstrual phase, which is day 1 through day 5. Since we have these changing hormones and lower estrogen and progesterone, we might have low energy. We need to prioritize foods that raise energy, that have B12, like spinach and red meat. And of course, we want to listen to our body and use those anti-inflammatory foods also to make sure that your body's regulated and just keeps feeling good. Next is the follicular phase. Now, in the follicular phase, this is days 6 through 14 of your total 28-day menstrual cycle. During your follicular phase, estrogen starts to rise. Energy increases, mood is better, and you have a great potential for muscle building during this time. The nutrient focus is usually as standard as it can be, right? We want to keep prioritizing complex carbs, prioritizing lean proteins like chicken and turkey, and healthy fats. Very standard. Now, also during this time frame, women typically experience higher carb utilization. Carb utilization means we use carbs better. That means our strength training, our intensity in our WODs, and a lot of those things can be greatly improved if we're giving our body enough to eat, especially when it comes to carbohydrates. Strength is peaking, energy levels are peaking. This is a really great time to actually start giving yourself the support and carbohydrates that it needs. So during this phase, as we mentioned, is that 5-day period all the way to 14. Estrogen is gradually increasing. We're getting ready for ovulation, which is around day 14, and we need to incorporate those carbohydrates because carbohydrate metabolism is upregulated. Performance during this time and strength is at an all-time high. Next, ovulation. This is around day 14. During ovulation, you may experience some weight increases. So ladies, this is where we step on the scale and we get caught up in the number. Now, the reason that this is happening is because our body is typically holding on to more water. Estrogen is peaking at this time. You may also feel your strongest around this time as well. It's different for different women. Testosterone is also elevated, and that also aids in muscle growth and performance in general. It's a good thing. Micronutrient and macronutrient adjustments are as follows. Higher protein and moderate carbohydrate levels are good. This is the time for you to really peak into building that muscle and actually feeling great. So continue to prioritize the same things as in your follicular phase. Good carb utilization at this time, which is great. Estrogen is peaking. You can push yourself in your WODs and you're likely going to feel great. So keep incorporating those higher protein rich meals, complex carbohydrates, and get in some heavy lifting. It's a great time to do this, but keep in mind on the scale again, a lot of women will see weight increases in the scale, inflammation, and water weight during their actual beginning of their menstrual cycle and also during this time frame when they're ovulating. So keep that in mind. The luteal phase. Now this is day 15 through day 28. This is a bit tricky because the luteal phase is where a lot of women will experience cravings. And so now that we know this is a good thing. However, we need to combat these cravings appropriately. So what is the right right way to do this. My recommendation is give into those cravings and incorporate good amounts of carbohydrates so that you don't binge later. Binging carbohydrates later is only going to cause you to eat more, putting you out of a calorie deficit and eating way more than your body needs to support muscle growth and to keep body fat levels down, feel good during your workouts. And so give into those cravings when needed and just eat enough to support performance. Knowing now you're in your luteal phase in the 15 to 28 day time period, you want to make sure that one, understanding that those cravings are coming, and don't combat them by starving yourself more. Give into those cravings, get in the right amount of carbohydrates that you need, and incorporate the right amounts of protein and everything else that we talked about. It's a good time to incorporate very satiating foods. A lot of fruits and vegetables during this time. It's going to help lower those cravings down. A lot of the foods you're going to crave are going to have high calorie, sugar content with the fat, like ice cream, and then also salt. That makes the most satiating foods, those three combined. So keep that in mind and make sure that you're eating enough and keeping yourself satiated to avoid those cravings as much as possible. Also in the luteal phase, progesterone rises and you may experience some bloating, some fatigue, and of course, as I mentioned before, those heightened levels of cravings. We want to incorporate more magnesium-rich foods during this time, like almonds and pumpkin seeds, dark chocolate. That's going to support bloating and support recovery. As for the macronutrient balance, we want to have those fats in there. That's going to keep you satiated. And look at the top of the satiating index are foods that fill us up and for longer. Don't look this up on Google. Very, very simple. Incorporate foods at the top of those lists to avoid those heightened levels of cravings. That's how you align your nutrition with your menstrual cycle. Keep in mind, every single person is going to be a little bit different. All we can do is understand our body and understand that there are more complexities to it than, hey, just eat your macros the same every single day. It might not be that simple. These hormonal changes make a big, big difference in how we eat, how much our body fluctuates in terms of inflammation, water weight, and it's something that men typically don't experience. And so therefore, it doesn't mean that, we can eat the same foods every day in the same amounts and expect to get the same results. More research is underway. I highly recommend Stacy Sims, hormone expert, specialist in this field. She can give even more information than I've provided here, especially for those women going through other hormonal changes in perimenopause and beyond. So I hope you found this video helpful. We do have a menstrual cycle syncing guide on our Instagram. If you go to CBG_online_nutrition, you'll find it there. DM me the word cycle and I will send it to you for free. If you didn't take notes during this video, I'll have a full layout, full free guide for you in training so you can implement some of these things. I hope this helps. If you want to book a call with my team, you're tired of not feeling and looking like you do 4 to 5 watts per week, and you want to make some serious changes in your life when it comes to nutrition and the way you feel, go ahead, click the link below in the description. You're going to be able to book a call with us so that we can go over your goals and see if we can help you. I'll see you guys on the next one. WOD Nutritionist out.